Hello, and welcome to our multimedia project about the imperialism of European states in the Pacific. Throughout this video, we hope to educate you about the various causes and effects of this topic to the best of our ability. Now, let's get started. Though various islands throughout the Pacific were affected by the imperialist movement, the most greatly influenced civilizations were New Zealand, Australia, and Hawaii. During this presentation, we will educate you more deeply about the imperialism found on these islands as well as a few others. Let's start off with New Zealand. Because of the abundance of timber in New Zealand, European timber merchants were drawn to establish settlements in order to initiate economic dominance in the region and began to trade with natives. As New Zealand's Maoris came into contact with these settlements, several effects occurred. While the Maori had not previously had an entirely strong military, their interaction with the European peoples led to the exchange of firearms and the strengthening of the Maori military. This was one of the positive effects of their interactions in the midst of many negative and led to a small advantage for the Maori later on in their history. Trade with Europeans also led to the distribution of alcohol throughout the land and led to heavy alcoholism centralized near the settlements. Europeans also began to pay natives for sexual favors, resulting in the establishment of prostitution. Along with the onset of the prior unfortunate effects, the Maori were also heavily affected by European diseases that they had not previously been exposed to, such as smallpox, tuberculosis, and even the common cold. While the Maori were being affected by these negative issues, the discovery of rich soil throughout New Zealand led to a new surge of European farmers and herders looking to settle in the 1850s. Though the Maori initially fared well against the settlers with the help of their new warfare, they soon were fought back and continually forced into smaller areas of land until they were nearly extinct. Due to all of these effects of European life, the population of natives in New Zealand between 1800 and 1900 decreased by nearly 80%, while European population continued to climb. After much negative interaction between the societies of the European settlers and the Maori natives, the Maori began to adapt to European laws and were finally able to defend and preserve some of their culture. In the end, the arrival of Europeans in New Zealand led to large-scale suffering for the natives and many economic opportunities for the invaders to prosper. Now, let's move on to Australia. On January 18, 1788, British navigator James Cook reached Botany Bay, Australia. His fleet left to establish a settlement at Port Jackson, a few kilometers north. However, in 1851, gold was discovered, which brought an increase in European migrants. Also, the British were fond of Australia's strategic location as a reliable base for its navy and for commercial opportunities, which furthermore encouraged the settlement in Australia. The increasing population of the Europeans also caused the deaths of thousands of natives due to the diseases the Europeans were bringing into the country. Tension continued to increase as the settlers built coaling stations and ports where the natives used to hunt and farm, which led to starvation of many natives. Frequent battles between the settlers and natives took place, but because of the Europeans' advanced warfare technology, the natives stood no chance against the settlers and eventually surrendered against the British rule. However, after the natives became British subjects, the majority were subjected to converting to Christianity. Last but not least, let's visit Hawaii. Hawaii was another region explored by James Cook in 1778. The Hawaiians originally welcomed him, fascinated by their ships and use of iron and metals. Cook's discovery provided an opportunity for Western expansion into the islands. Hawaii became a target for Western influence due to its abundance of fertile soil composed of lava ash and soft stone. Prince Kamehameha, for example, used British weapons and advisors to benefit the economy in order to trade with Western merchants. Western impact was also seen through religion, with the increase of Christianity converts and an increase in women's rights, and through architecture as more Western-style palaces and schools were built. An increase in schools eventually led to 50,000 students being able to read by 1831. Hawaii also maintained very productive sugar plantations, but as the Europeans' exploitation of the economy began to increase, the Hawaiian native population began to decrease due to introduction of foreign disease, as well as a result of an increase in Japanese migrants for job opportunities. In addition to these three societies, many other less economically prosperous civilizations were also subject to the imperialism of European states during this time. All of these smaller areas were subject to the same religious, economic, and nationalistic causes that brought Europeans into their land. These many European victories over territories led to a strong racial reasoning for the Europeans to continue their exploration. This concept is now known as social Darwinism, or the belief that people of European heritage were better because of their ability to overpower other civilizations. Because of all of these reasons, Europeans built a presence in the Pacific so large as to be imperial, and many societies were impacted dramatically. We hope that you were able to deeply understand this content from our presentation. Goodbye!